Southwestern Trojans. We've got Nate Johnson at the plate, batting first.
Yes. Another ball down. Javi's been down the first 3 pitches.
Playing short. Max Marshall, left field, batting second. Dustin Hendricks, playing third, batting third. Calvin Ricker, pitching, batting cleanup. Let's see what we got here for a pitch.
The ball fouled off down the left side.
Batting fifth for Southwestern, Spencer Kane. Playing second. Jamison Walsh is the DH today. Christopher Neal, right field. Aiden Melquist, center field. And Lucas Gilbert finishing up, catching.
Ground ball, Nick Zatorski knocks it down. Can't field it cleanly, though, and Johnson beats it out to first base.
Probably should have handled that one himself.
Yeah, well, after he bobbled it at Johnson's speed, he couldn't quite beat it there. And Javi is a little late covering first base. Pitcher's got to be sprinting. But Johnson's speed really was the difference there.
Lefty Max Marshall up next.
Well, this is where things get interesting here for Coach Brown at Southwestern. He's got leadoff hitter on the first inning. For those of you who are unaware, this is the third matchup this season for these two teams. In the first 2 matchups, they've played 20 innings. He played 9 the first time here in Dunkirk and 11 innings in Southwestern, so 2 really evenly matched teams. It's a bunt, ball up.
Popped up.
And ball back down towards us, so. So it looks like Coach Brown was thinking something along what we were, try to get in a run early and get on the board and see what happens.
Yeah, if you watch the first 2 games, there wasn't a lot of runs scored early. Most of the runs came late. So, you know, obviously you want to get up. You got a speedy runner on there. But like we saw in the Fredonia game, people aren't as willing to run against Messina as other pitchers in the league, or catchers in the league.
Turns the square again. Dunkirk pitches out. Got a little bit of a unique situation here today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have a 3-man umpiring crew. I don't know if it's in anticipation of playoffs starting or whatnot that they're working on. There's a push bunt to third, and that actually gets by the third baseman.
That was a real hard push bunt. I mean, if he came out clean, he might have had a shot at second. I mean, Johnson's got great speed, don't get me wrong, but he feels that clean. He's at least got an easy out at 1.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's
We got Dustin Hendricks up, batting third.
It's got to be a little frustrating for Javi here. We've got 2 ground balls that haven't left the infield grass for the most part, and they've got runners on first and second and nobody out.
Oh, Johnson just stole on Javi. What a great jump there. Messina had no chance to even get the throw off.
Yeah, it's tough start for sure.
And if you notice, Aiden Kennedy's not here in the lineup for Southwestern. Again, today he's been doing a lot of football recruiting. That's a big loss for Southwestern. One of their best players usually hits 2 and has had a great season when he's been here, but he has been doing a lot of football workouts. The showcase is looking to get recruited going into his senior year as quarterback for Southwestern.
Yeah, and they have some it presents some challenges for them because they had a rain-shortened game on Monday where they got an inning in and had to pick it up. Rain-shortened day on Wednesday, had to pick it up yesterday. So Mr. Johnston threw 65 or 70 pitches yesterday, makes him ineligible to throw today. So really brings them down what is both of their normal league starters here today. So
yeah, absolutely.
Opportunity for Cal Ricker who's pitching. He's thrown, I think, in both games versus Dunkirk. Left-hander, stymies the running game.
Yeah, the same thing happened in the last Fredonia Southwestern game too. Fredonia was able to actually take advantage and get the win, but it makes it difficult. Oh, real late jump, gonna have a shot at home. Throw was a little wild, as you can see. Is coming right by Zatorski, so they did get an out at first. But Johnson really, if that was a contact play, that high chopper, if he had taken off on contact, I think he would have scored easily. But he hesitated. He went back to third little and still tried to score and had a real shot of being thrown out there. It would have been a bang-bang play. but Satorsky threw a little high and wide.
Yeah, I think Travis took a look at him and froze him for a second there, but yeah, it's probably one where a good throw and you definitely have a shot.
I think, yeah, definitely. I think a good throw would have had him.
Strike one to Ricker.
Good spot to miss there by DeJesus, just a little outside, as you could hear Mr. Umpire Chad Bongiovanni yelling. Bongiovanni does typically have a lower strike zone.
Yeah, he's got a pretty true plate.
Yeah.
Which, given the pitching situations today, Dunkirk comes off a win at Allegheny where they only played 5 innings, weren't tested a whole lot, so they have most of their pitching staff available. And Southwestern being down their top 2 guys, tighter zone probably plays in Dunkirk's favor as the game goes on.
Well, not only that, but hitting-wise too. We saw that in the Ferroni Dunkirk game, a tighter zone, the way Dunkirk can hit the ball, that really is a disadvantage to all pitchers in that sense.
A foul ball down the left side.
Rickers does a nice job typically, and you saw a couple foul balls to the left side here as a left-handed hitter. He will go opposite field, and he does a nice job wasting a lot of pitches to the opposite field, fouling them off as well. And he will turn on one, as you see right there. So he definitely uses all the whole field, and if you're a hitter, and we talked about that on Monday too, with hitters like DeJesus, once you can do that, you're a real difficult out.
Right there, Nick. On the line.
And now you've got a circumstance over there where you got a runner on second, so you're holding the runner on second. You've got an artificial hole created at second. The fly ball left shallow.
Short. Oh, it drops in for a single.
I thought maybe Norton might take a little diving snap at that, but it definitely was a real shallow play, and you have to give Ricker some respect because he has power. He's a big linebacker in football, good speed, and he definitely has some pop to his bat. So he was able to fist one in the left for a hit.
Next up for Southwestern, we got Spencer Kane, senior, playing second.
That's you, Hop.
Delayed steal by Ricker, defensive indifference there for those of you keeping the book.
Out for a run here. Out for a run. Except for first, you come up.
It's a good pitch by Javi after chasing the high fastball, go low like that, really expanding the zone.
This is an out Javi'd like to have himself here. Let yourself get out of the inning, only giving up 1. Put yourself in position to at least.
Oh, and that was thrown away by Segura at short. And I'll say again, the runner at third there, that was Marshall. I mean, he should have been off on contact, and he hesitated. He didn't go. So they're not getting good jumps at third base, and they're getting away with it so far.
Probably a ball Louis should have eaten.
Yeah, I think the scoring on that one's probably a single and then a throwing error to score the second run and moving to second base. I don't think he had much of a shot at getting out at first.
Well, that was a perfectly placed swinging long bunt there. Good pitch by DeJesus once again. I mean, a bloop single is the only ball's been in the outfield all inning, and they're down 3-0 in the top of the first.
Jamison Walsh, DH, stepping up, taking a cut, foul, first pitch.
Now, Corey, is Walsh a freshman or a sophomore?
I think he's a freshman.
That's what I thought he was too. And
He's a big, athletic young man who I know in the 2 games that we've played has had a couple of key at-bats late in games and come up with a couple of big hits. Actually threw in 1 game as well, but he's got 2 hits versus Dunkirk in the first 2 games, both doubles driven to the gap, kind of like that one. I think it's going to hang a little bit, but driven to right center.
oh, advances the runner there, but that's a big out for Dunkirk. Now with 2 outs and a runner at third, you know, there has to be a base hit here to score him. Yeah, and like you're saying, I've seen him pitch twice as a freshman, and you know he doesn't look like a freshman out there, build-wise or performance. Solid future for Mr. Walsh and Southwestern.
Junior Christopher Neal's up next, right fielder. Takes a nice cut for strike 1.
Ground ball to short. Segura down. Yep.
Close play. Safe at first.
Another should be out in the infield here. You know, the leadoff one was hit hard to Satorsky, but was playable. And since then, they had weak ground balls even, but it's been real effective for Southwestern, going up 4-0 now. Runner on first and 2 outs. Excuse the wind, listeners. It's really working our mics over.
Aiden Melquist takes a swing at first pitch for strike 1, center fielder. I gotta say, as a spectator, I do like how the umpire does locate the ball.
Locate the pitch, yeah.
Yes, I enjoy that.
Chad has done that for years. Makes it a little harder to argue with him, or at least that's how he saw it, right? But he consistently does that pitch after pitch.
Dirt, 3-1 to Melquist.
This is where I think Javi's showing a shred of frustration at the way the innings unfolded. Really just needs to focus up, keep doing what he's doing. It's a matter of circumstance more than his performance.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the leadoff hitter, Nate Johnson's the only one to hit the ball remotely hard.
And it was right at somebody.
Right. And, you know, and he kept it in front of him. And Javi was probably a little late getting to first. It would have been a bang-bang play if he got there earlier. But that's it. Even the ground balls that are airs, they've been, I mean, heck, the bunt might have been the second hardest ball hit.
Yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration either.
His big hitter for Javi here, though. Number 9 hitter up. You're going to flip the order up, have their best hitter come back up.
Lucas Gilbert, the catcher.
This is the guy that you want to get.
Absolutely. And like you said, Corey, you can see a little bit of frustration on Javi's face right now. His mannerisms hasn't been bad, which is to his credit, because in the past we've seen him show those emotions a lot more, and he's really grown up as a player this year a lot, and the success shows it. But he is definitely a little frustrated. Who wouldn't be at this point with the inning he's thrown, giving up 4 really unearned runs?
Yeah, we'll go over the line when the inning ends, but I'm pretty certain that there's not an earned run in here.
If there is, it's 1 maybe. Maybe Johnson, but that was an error too. Yeah, we'll have to see. But what Dunkirk and Javi has to realize, they know they can score runs, right? And they know, like you brought up, Southwestern's pitchers, our top 2 pitchers aren't available tonight. So there's going to be opportunities to score runs as well.
And in both games we've played them, it's taken a touchdown to win.
Gilbert's at 2-2. Don't want to see that.
Yeah, you hope it doesn't matter, but what it does is takes the force off, takes your bailout out of every base, means the left side's got to make the long throw across the infield.
Yeah, wild pitch, score zone, base hit could score 2 now.
Yep.
There's a lot of variables there.
Fouls 1 back.
It's a good at bat by the 9 hitter Gilbert. You know, you expect almost quote unquote easy out here to get out of this inning, avoid the top, but he's not give it in at all.
And there's a fly ball, high fly ball. A lot of wind there. Donovan Lockett underneath it makes the catch.
And he didn't even hold on his hat that time.
No, that time he shed his hat on his way in. Yeah, the line for the inning is 4 runs on 2 hits, 4 errors.
It's definitely a tough start with 4 errors.
Yeah, it's not exactly the way that Coach Segura drew it up, but yeah, no earned runs on that. To Javi's credit, until the 8-hitter kept focused, didn't walk anybody, and made them put the ball in play. So we'll be back in a minute here at Elstow Miller Field. Back about to start the top of the 2nd inning here in Dunkirk at Elstow Miller Field. Last bit introductions to do for today. Like I mentioned, we had a 3-man umpiring crew. We have Chad Bongiovanni behind the plate. Colin Mulcahy is the umpire at first base, and Steve Pantano has the third base side. So something a little different for a high school game in Western New York. Should be entertaining for the guys.
Should be no mistakes made now.
I believe that the pressure is definitely on.
Not that these ever would make a mistake anyway.
Leading off for Dunkirk, Alex Ahlstrom, center fielder.
Ball high from Ricker.
We've talked last time about the top third. Really, it's grown to about the top 5 in the last couple weeks in this order.
Look like a straight take there by Ahlstrom.
Yeah, he typically sees a lot of pitches in the first inning, sometimes to his own detriment, but I guess it's the job of a leadoff hitter. That ball is ripped foul down the left field line like a fastball stayed up.
Yeah, he went up and got it. It probably would have been ball, but he definitely got a good piece of it, but pulled it foul down 1-2.
Alex is batting exactly .500 on the season so far. Getting on base right about 2/3 of the time he steps into the batter's box. Another foul ball.
Staying alive.
Are we supposed to sing after that? Staying alive.
Whatever you're better at.
Neither. How about, what's choice C on that? Just be quiet? Probably be the best option.
Junk.
Curve ball, Alex fights off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The leadoff hitter, seen a bunch of pitches so far.
Yeah, definitely shows fastball. His teammates seen the curveball now. And like you said earlier, Corey, that's the job at a leadoff hitter. Sometimes you have to, I was always a leadoff guy. I never liked taking that first strike, but when you're leading off the game, sometimes it's really necessary to do that.
Was talking to Coach Brown before the game from Southwestern, mentioned that this is Calvin Ricker's first start of the season. It's been used in relief predominantly, so really it's a pitcher they haven't seen a whole lot, so to see a couple pitches early is probably a good idea. The count flips around to being full here.
Could be a good recipe to get Dunkirk back on the board early. There's a drive, left field.
And it is right at the left fielder, battling that sun. And if you've never been to a game in the afternoon here in Dunkirk, you have no idea what it's like to play left field, third base, left center, shortstop. That sun is right in your eyes. Left fielder there, who would be Marshall, is battling it, but the ball's right at him, and he's able to come up with that catch. Home plate is really in the wrong spot if you really got technical on this field.
Left fielder Michael Norton up to the plate. Takes the ball pretty high.
Michael hit his third home run of the season the other night in Allegheny. Put a nice barrel on a ball to center field.
Record delivers a strike for 1-1 count.
Taking a pitch like that as your first strike up 1-0, there's no problem with that at all. You don't like seeing kids take too many strikes, but that's not a great pitch to hit. And let it go. You see it, time it up, and you get next time around. He throws that again in the middle of the plate like that. I expect Mikey Norton to turn on it.
Yeah, I expect early on in the bat, early on in the game, he's looking for a fastball to drive. The first pitch was a nice curveball spun over.
3-1 to Norton. Looking to get something started for Dunkirk.
Another thing we didn't point out, if you look at the second baseman at Kane, he's almost playing like a rover softball position out there. A little bit of a shift going on. The shortstop is on the right side of the infield, and the third baseman's playing in the hole between short and third as well. So definitely playing Norton to pull here.
They actually did this in Southwestern. If you take a look out there, Coach Brown, it's a pretty progressive take. He actually left his shortstop at shortstop, has his third baseman playing to the right of second base, and then the second baseman in deep.
You're right. Yep.
Deep second base. So he's got Johnson pretty much, and Michael hits right into the shift.
Wobbles it a little bit.
Yeah, but
He's
that's
safe.
the problem of it. You don't, as a second, you're not used to that timing.
You have to attack that ball.
Yeah.
Actually, as we look at this
That's
even
your
further,
third baseman
he moved
playing
the third
second.
baseman all the way over to second base and slid the second baseman up the middle.
Yeah.
Definitely an interesting shift.
And if I remember correctly, with runners on, they didn't do this. In the majors, they'll still sometimes do the shift with runners on.
They shaded the shortstop up the middle with runners on, but had to guard against the stolen base, and a guy basically going first, stealing, never stopping, and carrying on to third base.
Catcher Messina takes a strike.
And I'm assuming you put an error in the book on that one, Corey?
I did, just because I believe if he fields it cleanly, even playing where he is, he's out.
Yeah, it was
It's the bobble that, which this is going to be the weirdest E5 in the history of scored baseball.
Messina takes it off the left arm and will venture onto first base.
Yeah, now would he technically still be the third baseman even though he's playing really second? It doesn't matter. That's just food for thought there. I don't know, because in my head I'm like, well, still he's playing second base kinda. He's the second infielder on the right side, but I don't know what the official rule on that is. I've never thought about it.
This is the second game in a row you guys have had a controversial call.
Scoring? Yeah.
Scoring. Yeah.
Javi DeJesus pops it back up.
The pitcher looking to help himself here a little bit. A good opportunity for runners in first and second, only one out. Couple of base hits here gets Dunkirk right back in this game, and two hitters have been doing it all year for him.
Yep.
DeJesus and Lockett up. And Lockett's on deck here.
Jesus pops it back up again.
And Ricker has been pounding the zone. I mean, it's been full counts, but he's, I mean, and obviously we've seen it too. I'm saying it, but the first pitch was a strike on that one even.
Yep.
Looks like DeJesus thought that was strike 3.
Well, Ricker definitely did, and he's a very, very emotional player. He might be one of the few players that actually might play better when you get him going, but he's a notorious trash talker, emotional. He'll give it to you every way possible in any sport he plays. He definitely plays that villain role very well, and he's well known in the area and probably not so much liked in the area for it.
Probably endeared to his team, though.
Oh, absolutely. Those villain roles.
Yep.
You love him on your team, and you hate playing against him.
So he's the Brad Marchand of Southwestern baseball.
Well, I would say Western New York sports.
Oh, wow.
Because he's
Really
worse
good,
in football.
really good football player.
Basketball player.
It's a good three. This team here from Southwestern is chock full of three-sport athletes. That's
going
to
to fall in there.
Fouling in to right field. Norton's going to hold it third.
It was a good throw.
Yeah, good call. You heard Jagoda. If you didn't catch that in cameras, Norton was coming hard like he was supposed to. Jagoda's halfway down the line. You're hold, which was the right call.
One down. Bases loaded for Donovan Lockett.
And DeJesus gave Southwestern a little taste of their own medicine there. Not a well-hit ball, but got just enough of it, 2 strikes to muscle it into right field for a line drive single in the books.
The big spot for Donnie. A base hit here likely scores 2, gets you right back into the game. You feel like the first inning is an anomaly, and you move on and you play.
First pitch was up high for a ball. Second pitch, low for a ball.
That's a pitch that's a strike to every other kid that plays here today,
I was
probably
about to
today.
say that.
Donnie is a tall individual, high knees.
Takes a strike.
It's a good pitch to take another one.
Absolutely.
On the inner third of the plate, gets underneath his hands. You're up 2-0. Looking for something you can extend your hands on and drive to a gap.
I mean, if you do make contact with the ball, you're probably fouling it off anyway.
Throws to first.
And
RBI. Norton scores.
I'm a little surprised they didn't go home on there. Hendricks probably had the force out at home. They probably would have got him too, but they went for the sure out and got an out. Up 4-0. I guess that makes some sense too. But his momentum was all coming right towards home.
it wasn't a terribly hard hit ball.
No.
And Nick Marzowitz coming to the plate here. Senior DH today.
And here's a big at-bat for Marzowitz. You got 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring positions. You don't want to leave them out there down 4-1. Yeah, Ricker's not liking the call. I was asking umpire if that was outside. We've seen a few batters on both sides chase that high pitch today already, early in the first.
Count 1-1 to Marcewitz.
A real true plate today from Chad Bongiovanni behind the plate. It's the whole strike zone, but not the whole lot off, not a whole lot down. It's
yeah. And if you've watched him up a few games, I know you have, Corey, he doesn't usually call the high strike too much either. He does not, that borderline some umpires call, from the letters down. Some don't quite call from the letters down. I personally love them they don't call from the letters down because I was short and I hated it. But he definitely has a true and a lower, he likes the lower strike zone. And you can see that there. I mean, that was probably even too high for anyone, but not calling anything high.
Loads the bases up for Nick Satorsky, playing first base.
And this could really be a good opportunity for Satorsky to get back on track. Started the year as a number 4 hitter. A little bit of a slump now, but at any point, there's a lot of pop to that bat. Good natural lefty swing, and it would be a good time for him to come out a little bit of a slump here.
Yeah, and outer edge, it's probably another one good pitch not to swing on the first pitcher at bat.
And I think we probably got a real good view of that eyeball. He just gave Bon Giovanni on that one, too.
That one, on the other hand, looked to be...
That was the higher strike, yeah.
Belt high center cut, though. That might have been one you did want to take it, see if you could wrap it off of that red wall out there.
Satorsky down, 0-2. Bases loaded.
Good job here by Satorsky. And look at Ricker just stand there and stare down. The villain is trying to do the psych out look right now. He never moved.
Satorsky fouls it back. Stays alive.
And honestly, if I'm a coach, I don't like that 0-2 pitch. That's a very hittable fastball, an 0-2.
This might be another, we talked about this a little bit in Feronia. There could be a conscious strategy on Southwestern's part here today to, though, abandon the waste pitch idea. They don't have a ton of arms.
Oh, nice. Satorsky reaches out, drops it into center field. One scores. DeJesus scores. Big hit for Nick.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good pitch. Curveball. He didn't try to do too much with it. He just got the barrel of the bat out there and hit it over the second base or over second base for a 2-out, 2-run single.
Yeah, that's one of those where, like you mentioned, Nick been struggling a little bit as of late. That's not the prettiest of swings or anything, but a gritty at bat that falls in and scores 2 runs, and you hope maybe that sparks a confidence and it's something to build on in future at bats.
Absolutely.
Big spot here. Now this is no matter how this inning ends for Dunkirk, they spotted them 4 runs, and at worst they're going to end the inning down 1, and you're playing a baseball game.
Absolutely. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better response offensively.
Yep.
Does Southwestern have any errors in this? Oh, yes, the
one error.
Norton's, yeah. And that shift, I mean,
it worked, actually. He hit right into the shift. They just didn't convert it.
You didn't hit it hard enough for him. That was the, And again, he got a third baseman playing right field almost. You're not used to that. It's a totally different type of play.
I presume, though I've only seen them play us, that's something that they do against other dead pull hitters. And that they practice that. But that particular play, the third baseman kind of sat back there. Yep. That's when you have to attack.
Oh, absolutely.
You really don't want it to take that first bounce on the outfield grass because it just completely changes the way the ball's moving coming from 3 bounces on the dirt to the grass.
And he just waited it, and even after bobbling it, there was no urgency. I don't think he had a shot anyway, but he threw it nonchalant to first base.
Travis takes a pitch, hits it to short, and
bang play at first base, just gets him.
That was a good play. I don't know if he had him or not. I couldn't really tell. I didn't get a good look myself for some reason. Marszewicz, he's a track star, got down the line real well. So it was a good play by the third baseman to make that play and throw to first.
That was Travis.
Yep.
Oh, that was Travis. Yep. Sorry. Yep. Marszewicz walked.
And, saying, again, they give Colin a little bit of credit on that one. The person with the best view in the entire ballpark on that bang play at first with a 3-man crew.
Great point, and zero hesitation on that. You punch him out immediately with confidence, and that's what you like to see out of umpire too.
Yep. So this is kind of It's weird. We talk all the time about answer innings when you give up a run to get a run back. This is we kicked the ball all over the place a little bit in the first inning. Can he answer back with a clean frame? And I think Dunkirk goes 9. Thank you. Goes 9 top in the bottom of the second.
Right. And on the counterpart, Southwestern, we hit 1 through 9 in the top of the first. So, Javi, like you said, he needs to get through this inning and hopefully not give up runs because they're top heavy in their lineup without a doubt. I mean, it's not as strong as normal without Kennedy, but they're still top heavy. And again, Johnson is a big out. Like Alstrom sets the table for Dunkirk in scoring, although he actually made the first out, and they still put up 3, which is another thing about Dunkirk's lineup. Johnson is absolutely crucial about getting on base for Southwestern to score.
Yeah, especially today where they're a little behind the 8-ball lineup-wise, missing what has been their number 2 hitter in both games that Dunkirk's played.
Yeah, yep.
DeJesus steals one low for a ball.
Quick shout out to Gabe Taylor and Dylan Murphy for getting this all set up and putting on a great show out here, working hard game after game. It's off his foot, and that hurts.
Fouls it right off his foot. For a strike, obviously. 1-1 count.
And that's the last thing you want to see on your speedy shortstop. And I love these veteran coaches too. Coach Gullo, Coach Segura, Coach Janish. They're always working the umpires, and that's not yelling at them. But they're always working them every chance they got. Segura walked out, and I don't know what he said to Giovanni there, but he had to say something.
I have a feeling he may have been questioning that call at first. Not that it was his call to make, but there was definitely some chirping between the Dunkirk and Fredonia.
That's a good pitch and a good swing.
Absolutely.
Ball gets to the gap in right center field.
They may go 3 here with this speed.
That's a
yeah.
Johnson in for a triple.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a bad pitch, Corey. You said it yourself. And if Johnson just took one off his foot and was able to come back next pitch, hit a gapper down in the count, and get a triple out of it, shows what kind of athlete Johnson really is.
Yeah, that couldn't be a fun trip around the bases after that.
Although it feels a little better when you see the ball roll all the way to the fence.
Max Marshall stepping up, left fielder, 0 for 1 on the day. Makes one foul.
Another high pitch batters have been swinging at.
Mac's been one of their better hitters this year, hitting .360 on the season. Has slid into what would be typically Kennedy's spot in the batting order. Kind of a
hits one fall right towards the booth. DeJesus is up 0-2.
Yeah, good job by DeJesus, too. He gave up a triple, comes right back out, and gets ahead 0-2 on the next batter.
Little pitch out by DeJesus. 1-2.
It's got to be a good pitch right here, huh? Get him up. Come on, Nick.
Oh, he had him fooled. If that's a strike, I don't think he could have swung.
it's a
2-2 to Marshall. Got him.
Oh.
Marshall looked like he thought it was inside ball. Bongiovanni thought otherwise.
Yeah, that was a higher strike call, too. Bongiovanni's making me a liar tonight, Corey.
yeah, the belt's been a strike tonight. as it probably should be in high school games.
Oh, absolutely.
Heck, it is in the big leagues today. The big league zones have evolved to have grown up and not
Yeah,
out.
yep.
Third baseman Dustin Hendricks steps up.
Nice pitch.
Takes a nice strike.
Live there.
And Hendricks has a real nice sophomore season for Southwestern. Arguably one of the better, if not one of the best sophomores around.
Waste one.
He's had a productive couple of games against Dunkirk too. He's 3 for 9 against Dunkirk going into the year, or going into this game so far this season. Walked a couple of times.
Fires one to second base. Bobbles it a little bit.
All day though at that one.
Yeah. That's the difference not playing in right field at second base.
Correct.
Yeah.
Run does score to make it 5-3 Trojans.
Yeah, and if you give up one run and you get through 1 through 4, especially the leadoff triple, that's okay. That's a success.
Yeah.
For Dunkirk.
You get the leadoff triple, you have to assume that you almost have to concede the run at that point in time as a strategy and just accept that that's gonna.
Pitcher Kelvin Ricker fouls one.
Looks like that got him off his inner thigh.
It's a nice way of saying. I think I just saw a deep swallow there by Ricker. Tough inning here for the top of the orders. 2 foul balls off the body, and that does hurt. You see a lot of these major league hitters wearing all sorts of armor, and that's a big reason why.
Well, in the big leagues now, you'd see another curveball or something cutting down to add insult to injury and see if you hit the same spot again as what you'd see in there.
Oh, get some swing on that one.
It's a harder breaking ball than we've seen from Javi so far today.
Puts the Jesus ahead 0-2.
Yep, going high here. Oh, he was supposed to go high here. Miss low. That was a good spot to miss, though.
Doesn't matter if he's moving. If it's over the plate, strike's a strike.
Slaps one
Ricker just
into center field.
Just muscled it into center field.
Man, I'll give Ricker and like we give Johnson credit after getting hit like that. They've still able to get a base hit and get on base in pain like that. It's true gamers. Two outs, 1 runner on.
Spencer Kane up.
There's a ground ball to short.
Nice,
Gets a
easy
short
play.
one.
Yeah.
Fielder's choice.
Right to Segura for the third out. Not too much damage. Only an additional run.
No, and honestly, you know, this will be my heck. And I watched your second game on TV, so I really watched these guys play about 5 times this year, Southwestern that is. And if you get through the top of their lineup, only giving up no runs or 1 run, you're probably going to win that game. Because the bottom there's a big drop. There's a bigger drop today because
top's compressed.
Yes, you know, Marshall is coming down to hitting second instead of down farther in the lineup too. So, you know, you get 1 through 4, 1 through 5, you get up 1 run, and you have it, you know, 1, 2, 3 inning the next. That's definitely a win for Dunkirk.
Yeah, we'll be back in a minute here as Southwestern warms up at Al Stu Miller Field. Back at L. Stu Miller Field. Bottom of the second inning, Southwestern 5, Dunkirk 3.
Oh, I gotcha.
Number 9 hitter for Dunkirk, Louis Segura, starts it off. 9 and top of the order for Dunkirk. Takes the first pitch strike.
We're only in the bottom of the second here. It's been a couple long half innings.
Yeah, the one thing about last
1-1.
inning, Ricker was around the plate, throwing almost 56, 57% strikes, but Dunkirk saw some pitches, fouled a bunch off.
Segura leaves that offering up high for ball 2, 2-1.
Yeah, even the outs were good at bats for Dunkirk in the first inning, no doubt.
Right down third base, just foul, 2-2.
Louis is another one that Coach Jagoda's rewarded with some time at the plate here of late. At the beginning of the season, he was being DH'd for. He's been putting the bat on the ball on a regular basis.
Johnson's 2-2 pitch coming up. Up high for ball 3.
Good discipline by Segura there. We've talked about how many hitters have chased that high pitch, and he laid off that one there. You make it a full count.
He's done a pretty good job knowing his role, what it is here as a number 9 hitter. See pitches, find a way on base.
Pops it up to pitch.
That's a tough play, and he battles through it.
And I don't know if you saw the spectators, but Segura was almost to second base by the time Ricker caught that ball. So, you know, those are little hustle plays. If it did fall, he'd have been standing at least at second base. So good hustle, even though you're kind of, a lot of kids would have thought I'm out and jogged to first base, you know. So I want to point out to that, all you young players out there, that's how you play the game right there.
That's another ball that's interesting here in Dunkirk. Straight up, straight to the pitcher. The ball is dead behind him. Goes both up past it and down past it, the sun.
Alstrom takes a first pitch high for ball 1. Fly directly to the left fielder in the first inning.
Shows bunt.
Well, it's not a bad idea. First baseman's playing way off there with his speed, but you don't see that a lot out of Mr. Alstrom, at least as far in my experience.
He's done it once or twice this year for hits, which isn't a terrible idea because we've covered in the Ferroni game. He runs well, so you can turn in that single into a double here. But personally, with 1 out, I'd just be shooting for that double.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you have a left-handed pitcher. If you can get it to first base, it's a really tough play for him. And that ball's going to be
it to left field.
Laced down the line. See?
Falls in for a single.
Yeah, no chance that time for Marshall. Another good at bat for Alstrom.
This is where this gets interesting for us. We'll see the first time when we have a left-handed pitcher up. Dunkirk's part of the order that likes to run.
Yep.
Does that have an effect on things?
Well, when I watch him pitch in Fredonia, he will do like a good slide step and get it home quick. But when he doesn't do that, he has a pretty slow delivery and that foot crosses, and that wasn't bad there. That's tougher to steal on. But he will sometimes, if you get to pick the right pitch, to take a little bit more time and cross that front leg to his back leg, and he has to go home then. It is risky because you got to get the ball call if you take off. But
well, this is the kind of the purpose of the 3-man crew here is to see that better. I don't know what Coach Jagoda's strategy on this is. It is one as you're with regard to a running game where you kind of want to give a guy an open green light and let him pick the pitch and time the delivery, you know, where he does cross over as opposed to forcing a runner to go when he just did a slide step there and was quick to the plate.
Right. You know, if you pick the right pitch, you know, his off-speed pitch is really slow too. If
Yes.
Alstrom goes on his curveball, It doesn't matter what kind of jump he gets. He's going to be able to take second base easily. But you got to guess right on that, too.
Norton's sitting at 1 and 2.
And there it is.
Yep, slides in.
Closer. It was a good throw by the catcher there.
Excellent throw by the catcher. I thought he got a pretty good jump, actually.
Yeah, and it was on a curveball like we had just talked about. And Alston was able to steal it, but it was a lot closer. I think it'd been safe either way if he caught it, but it would have been a bang-bang play at second with a clean catch.
Right there, that's Alex' 16th stolen base on the season without being put out. And being
Norton takes a called third strike.
Being blunt about it, that's about as close as it's been this year. It was a really good throw. I mean, factoring in the ball wasn't caught in the end, but the throw was.
Oh yeah, it was there. It would have been a close play.
Yep.
And that was a big pitch by Ricker there. Low and outside corner against the lefty to get the big second out.
Messina takes it up high for ball 1.
We talked about Key getting through the top of Southwestern's order. Dunkirk's no different. I mean, those top 3, 4, 5 hitters have all been having a great season. So if they could get out of this without giving up a run, it would be absolutely huge.
And center field, and
got it. He took a step in. First step was in, but he was able to recover and make the catch. And that's a big third out for Southwestern. Score remains Southwestern 5, Dunkirk 3. Going into the bottom of the third. We'll take a quick break. Be back in a short 30-second break. Okay, we are back top of the third. I had the innings wrong there in the break. It seems like it's a lot longer than it was. Only 2 innings in, and after, what do we got? Hour of play, just under an hour and 2 innings.
Yeah, that's we're not working on the Major League Pace of Play program here this year today.
Well, there's a lot of base runners, a lot of errors, blooper hits. So there hasn't been a clean 1-2-3 inning yet.
No, there's a ball in on the fist. That's a really good pitch by DeJesus.
Segura to Zatorsky for the first out.
That's a smooth-looking play that you grown to expect from Segura. He's made a few errors the last few games, but that was a real nice, natural-looking play by the shortstop.
You hope that sets the tone, ideally for both teams, to be honest with you, for a clean rest of the game. That very well may be the first. We've had plays made, but the first one that's been completely clean. Field to step to throw to catch.
In the infield.
In the infield, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we've
had
made
the
some plays. We
yep.
had a bunch of knock them down and
Yep.
throw them out at first base.
Trying to. The only other one I could think of was the controversial play by Southwestern at
Oh,
third
that
baseman.
that was
clean. You know, he might have
Yep.
been safe, but it was a clean play on the third baseman's part.
A lot of times it only takes one to get yourself some confidence and,
Sure.
and build on. And really the play to build on confidence might have been the play to end the last inning. The ground ball took Louis up the middle, fielded clean, and stepped on second.
Right. The Jesus really, I mean, there's 5 runs on the board, but he's pitched well. I mean, he gave up the one big triple to Nate Johnson, and really that's it as far as him getting beat as a pitcher.
He's down 3-0 on the count.
All the way back. All the way back.
That was a straight take.
Come on.
Yeah.
Neal takes that first pitch.
I mean, Javi's line of the day is foul ball.
Gets him to swing at that one. 3-2 now. We're full.
The
Four-
young
four-
Frank Segura chasing the foul ball here.
Yep. There's 4 hits, but only one of them really struck hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
5 runs, only one of them earned, and he's only walked 2 people.
3-2. Got him.
What a great job. You know, down 3-0, 3 consecutive strikes for the strikeout.
2 down now. Aiden Melquist steps up.
And not only this be the first 1, 2, 3, but if he gets this out here, it makes it 9-1-2
Yep.
for the next inning. And that's a huge difference for a pitcher and for, you know, Southwestern's offense.
Yeah, and Dunkirk's done a good job on Mr. Melquist so far this season. He's looking for his first hit in 2 games. Frank's getting his steps in today, getting foul ball or getting past balls.
Yeah, you know, you got to give it to the other team, coach. That's their job, not you.
1-1 to Melquist.
Good pitch by Javi.
Yeah,
Misses
absolutely.
down. That's a good pitcher's pitch, though.
Yep. Not be upset by that pitch. And he's starting to get in a little bit of a groove. He's got a different look on his face and different pace, too, on the mound.
Falls behind the hitter again. 3-1 now to Melquist. Drive to left field. Norton handles that easily for the 1-2-3.
Yeah, big inning for DeJesus there in the Dunkirk defense. No freebies. You know, he had 2 3-ball counts, didn't give up a walk. And we will go into the bottom of the third. Score still remains Southwestern 5, Dunkirk 3. Be back in a moment.
Beginning of the bottom of the third here with Javi DeJesus stepping in.
After the 1-2-3 inning, Dunkirk's looking to maybe get something going here.
Puts one up. Drops in for a single.
That's another one of those that's becoming a classic Dunkirk hit the last couple of games. You couldn't throw it in a better place or worse place, depending on what team you're rooting for, position to be caught.
Yeah, and if I'm looking at that, Marshall was just watching Johnson, who did a great job as a shortstop. Good turn flying towards that ball. But Marshall, instead of coming hard himself, again, you got the sun factor there, and you're not used to playing here. It's real. But he was not coming hard after that ball at all, and it dropped in for a single.
Lockett steps up and takes a first pitch ball.
It's an interesting delivery there by Rick. It's the first time he might have stopped twice there in his windup.
Yeah, and that's that real slow to the plate. You know, if you can take off on that, you got a good shot of getting the steal. And there's the quick pitch.
Turns on it, bouncer through the hole into left field for a single.
Well, that's two balls that if you asked either player if they hit well, they'd say no, and they each have singles out of them.
And in fairness, Southwestern has their fair share of hits like that too. I would say it's at least Dunkirk's third.
Yep.
You know, Javi actually has two bloop singles in this game. He had one to right field, and now he has one to left. And Lockett hit it in the exact perfect ground ball place. Wonder if we might see a sack bunt here with the track star at the plate. First and second, no outs. See what Jagoda's going to dial up.
Shows bunt, pulls back, and
ball's on the ground.
Jesus gets in.
Yeah, Jesus, I'm not going to lie, I don't know if you can see the camera or not, but that was not a good move on his part. Results, yes, good, but he was dead meat if that ball was thrown in the air to third, and you never get that first out at third base like that. So he got away with it, and it looks great now, but, man, that would have been a big mistake if the catcher could have executed a little better throw.
That's your box, buddy.
Lockett also advanced on that, so we got second and third now. No outs. Marsiewicz up in the count 2-0. Shows bunt, pulls it back for a high ball 3. Got Lockett on second, DeJesus on third, Marsiewicz at the plate with a 3-0 count.
Good hold there again.
That's
I didn't
ball
think.
4.
No, I don't think the scoreboard was right. Oh yeah, maybe it is. I missed a pitch there somewhere in my head. I thought the scoreboard was wrong.
My casual scorekeeping here had 3 balls as well.
Yeah.
Total?
Because Javi stole on the first pitch, then it was ball 2, and that was the next pitch. Well, I don't know. Either way, Dunkirk's going to take it if that was only the third pitch.
That happened in the Dunkirk Fredonia JV game last week. That you, Mr. Alstrom there, called out a little bit.
It happened once in the big leagues a little bit ago, if I remember right. Nick Zatorsky shows bunt.
Takes the strike, and it's not something he's done a lot in his life, is bunt, but
it's a tough pitch to bunt too, down and on the outer edge of the strike zone.
And that third baseman is the one that's really charging hard too, so you'd really like to probably get it down the
You're
first
looking for
base
something
side.
in that you could kind of bunt to the right side exactly.
One and one to Zatorsky. Be nice to see him put one out like he did his last at bat.
Get his third or fourth RBI of the game, second hit, and get him going.
Other than third base and the pitcher's mound, looks like Southwestern's conceding a run here, so they're going to try to get 2 up the middle and then anything outfield.
Puts one up, out.
That is
ball is
caught by the third baseman right along the fence. Sorry, the fan screaming distracted me there for a second. I don't know what he was saying. But that's a big out for Ricker. to get that first one. Bases are still loaded for Dunkirk, though. Down by 2, bottom of the third, and Travis up the bat, correct?
Yep,
Correct.
now they'll do the same thing. They'll concede the run, try to get 2. Bryson runs pretty well.
I was about to say, getting,
Oh,
that's,
he pops it up.
That's going to be a heck of a play.
It's foul ball, though. It was
Just
the right
foul.
call. Yeah, that's a break for Southwestern. That ball did land foul because off the bat, you knew no one could get there. And if you're watching this left fielder, I don't know if he'll adjust or not, but he's playing way off that right field line. Anything down that right field line is going to be an easy possible double for Travis. With Marszewicz at first, might even clear the bases depending on what kind of jump he got.
Nick, a track sprinter as well, so runs really well.
Swings at a high one there to be down, go down 0-2.
Now this would be a huge strikeout for Southwestern. You know, if you're Travis, you just want to get this ball in play on the ground somewhere.
Definitely.
Looking to get an RBI, hopefully.
And battles one off.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat for both teams. One of those swing at-bats. If Bryson can get a hit, give you an opportunity maybe to bring the top of the order to the plate this inning with some runners on base. If he gets out, they can get out of it without doing that. It's one of those swing at-bats in a game. That ball is well struck.
That's a
and
gap.
down.
Center in the gap.
And
Jesus
Marszewicz
scores.
is going to score even
Lockett
on this.
scores.
And look at that speed of
Marszewicz
Marszewicz.
scores.
That's going to be a stand-up trip. Oh, well, he slid to make me look.
Silly, yeah.
Yep, but it's definitely no play at third, ball in the outfield.
No, that's a huge hit by Travis with 2 strikes on him. Number 8 hitter to be able to hit a gapper like that to clear the bases. And there was no doubt in anyone's mind if Marszewicz was scoring on that one. If you saw him, he proved us right with showing that track ability going around those base paths. Zero hesitation.
And that's where the Dunkirk ballpark again, you talk about the sun.
Segura pops it up. Looks foul. Oh, no, it wasn't fair. Oh, looked like Bryson was going to try to score on the tag, but heads back to third.
Yeah, he wanted to try and at least draw the throw there. Good play by Johnson not to throw it and even hustle to the third base himself. See him catch Travis cheating a little too much with no one covering the bag.
Top of the order coming up.
Is
here.
it the top of the order, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
That triple, as I was
Altogether.
saying when we put the ball in play earlier, it's one of those, Dunkirk does not have a cookie cutter ballpark here. It's got gaps. There's a point in center field. So that's a spot where on a normal high school cookie cutter ballpark, that's probably just a double, but there's another 30 or 40 foot of space for that ball to run here.
Yeah.
Alstrom pops it up.
It's a good pitch
to the
by
pitcher.
Ricker.
Looks
Not
for
the guy that we
trouble, but he grabs
Wow.
Adventurous, but out.
Yeah, that wind really played havoc with that fly ball or pop up there. And that just shows you how big Travis's hit really was to help Dunkirk take the lead. 6-5 after 3 here with Segura and then Alstrom popping out after him. If Travis doesn't get that 2-strike triple, Dunkirk's still down by 2 here. So good job by Travis. A 3-run triple for Dunkirk. Take the lead 6-5 after 3, and we'll be back after this.
Back in Dunkirk to start the top of the fourth inning. Again, Javi looking to have a shutdown inning after his team scores a couple.
Catcher Lucas Gilbert takes a high ball one. Gilbert steps up 0 for 2 on the day. Pops one back foul for a strike.
Nice pitch.
Jesus fires one in for a strike, 1 and 2.
Gilbert's a little late in that fastball. I like that pitch location, though. He just threw a little fastball by him, go a little lower so you can get him to chase it. That's a beautiful pitch.
Called out on strike 3.
That's exactly what we talked about. So you have the top of the order flipping back up around. Even if you give up a hit, it's not as much as an automatic run. He doesn't.
Absolutely.
It's going to take a second hit to score a run.
Again, you don't have to get through Kennedy to stop that second hit either.
Shortstop Nate Johnson steps up. 1 for 2 on the day. Scored 2 of Southwestern's 5 runs today. Takes the first offering low for a ball.
He's been on the barrel all the entire day, though. He was the one that hit the solid ball to first base.
Third base.
A tough play with Johnson's speed. Oh, nice, that might have been even up the last one.
Yeah, I think that was could have evened
it was a really tight play at first base.
Yeah.
It's a nice play by Bryson.
Absolutely.
Fielded a ball that took him a little bit towards the line and made a good throw over to first base.
And Johnson has great speed out there. He's a good receiver for Southwestern also. And he got out of that box well, and Travis was just a little better on that one.
Max Marshall steps up, 2 outs. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Fires 1 in for a strike. 1 and 1.
I think it's
Marshall.
I think it's fair to say as this game has gone on, that Jesus looks better and better and more comfortable out there. Of course, that helps when the defense is playing behind him, unlike the first inning. It's hard to get comfortable in the mound and get in a groove when there's a number of errors behind you. Proper call there by Mr. Chad Bongiovanni.
2 and 2 to Marshall.
If he could get this third out, it'll be back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for the Marauders. Oh, just got a piece of it. Cena couldn't quite hang on. 2-2.
The 2 and 2 to Marshall. Up high to Segura. It's short. Oh, he looked safe on that one, but they.
I think that one he was definitely out. That one, to me, that one was the most obvious out of the 3. That's a nice play by Segura. So after 3.5, the score remains Dunkirk 6, Southwestern 5, and we will be right back.
Back in Dunkirk here to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. 6-5 Dunkirk. Number 2 hitter Michael Norton steps to the plate.
First offering is high and outside for ball 1.
And we've seen Walsh warming up for Southwestern, so I think it's going to be a short leash for Ricker to get through this lineup for the 3rd time.
Norton hits it to second, fielded cleanly, and
so we're going to have some wacky scoring again, because that's going to be a non-traditional 5-3 put out.
Yeah, and he's hit into the shift twice. The first time he beat it, technically, because he got on by the air. This time it worked perfectly for Southwestern. The first out of the inning and a big out for Ricker, really. You know, if you can keep people off the bases for a hitter like Messina, that's a success.
Catcher Phil Messina stepping up. Takes the first pitch and drives it to center field for a single.
Beautiful natural swing, not trying to do anything fancy. Was hit it hard, line drive out the middle. And Corey, I'm sure you don't know this, but it'd be interesting to know inning that Phil did not lead off and get up with no one on base like that. And I'm sure it hasn't happened too many.
A whole lot.
It's right, you know.
I was thinking of that. I'm not sure this team has gone 1-2-3 in the first yet.
I can't imagine that, but so here's the Jesus up. 2 for 2 with 2 bloop singles, 1 to left and 1 to right. Had him leaning a little bit, but didn't snap it over there after that.
First pitch to DeJesus, ball 1.
I know Johnson and DeJesus both stole third, but I think they did that more on their own. I've only seen a coach steal call like between the other player one time today. And there's the second one right there.
Takes off.
Oh, bad timing. You know, Javi finally hits a ball hard, and it's a line drive right at him, but that's baseball, right? You get a couple of bloop singles, you hit one hard, and you get an out.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so that technically is an unorthodox 1-2-3 inning, but 3 batters up, 3 outs, no runs, and he got through the 2-3-4 hitter. If you're Ricker, that's a big, big inning. So after 4, Dunkirk remains leading the game 6-5, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. Welcome back here to Dunkirk, top of the fifth inning, 6-5 Dunkirk. Breakdown of the game so far, Southwestern 5 runs on 4 hits with an error. Dunkirk 6 runs, 7 hits, 4 defensive errors.
Third baseman Dustin Hendricks steps up to the plate. Top of the fifth. Takes a ball 1 high.
Come on, Sticks, be a leader. Got a boy.
Fouls one.
Good pitch.
You know, and Coach Segura liked that pitch, and I did too. I mean, he put a little extra on that. So even on his fastball, you're seeing different speeds, and that makes it real hard on the hitter to time out any sort of pitch.
The 1-1.
Another foul ball.
You know, and now the off speed is even slower there on the curve. But Hendricks fouled both those pitches off, too, to his credit. Again, Hendricks is no easy out here in the 3 spot for Southwestern.
1-2.
Fly ball to
Driven
center
to
field.
center. Alstrom hauls it in.
You can see even that one at the last minute, the adjustment with the sunshine coming in.
Yeah.
It's a difficult sky today. There's not a cloud in it beyond the baseball field. Little clouds
And there's
in the
enough,
distance, but nothing in the direction the ball's coming from.
No, and there's just enough wind, too, to along with that sun. And, you know, he didn't quite hit that one, so it probably had a little spin on it, too, that one. So those 3 factors make an easy out difficult.
Pitcher versus pitcher here as Ricker steps up and takes first pitch low, ball 1.
Ryan, hustle up with those balls. Come on, Phil.
Second pitch taken for a ball, ball 2.
Atta boy.
Ricker falls that one back. 2-1.
You can hear, folks, if your camera's right by Coach Segura, he's really starting to get into this game and really encouraging his players hard. And it is another good, tight game. Corey mentioned earlier, 2 times in 20 innings in 2 games, the first 2 meetings. And we have a 1-run game here in the top of 5. So this will be a big win for Dunkirk to sweep the Southwestern Trojans on the season if they can hang on.
Ricker leaves that one up a little high for ball 3, 3-1.
Javi's starting to get up there in pitch counts. Unofficially, we have him approaching 90. Ball 4 to Cal Ricker, and Southwestern as a runner.
You know, that was a good at-bat. You could hear the fans yelling about a couple of the ball calls, but I thought they were good calls. It looked a little up or a little up and out on him. I mean, not by a lot, but he laid off those pitches and drew a walk here with 1 out.
Spencer Kane steps up.
See, and Kane couldn't lay off that pitch that Ricker took for balls, and now it's 0-1 for Kane.
Yeah, you're going to want to attack him in that same spot because that ball's up, and if he's going to swing there, it's going to be a tough ball to hit and play hard.
Good job there by DeJesus. Ricker was timing him out here and taking a pretty aggressive lead, and he's got good speed, and he is an aggressive player. He might have been going there. And the pitch out was called by Jagoda.
1-1 to Spencer King.
Ball in.
2-1 to Kane.
Get ahead, Phil.
Like you said there, Corey, Jesus tried to go high on him again. He just got a little inside on.
The Jesus falls behind, 3-1 to Kane. 1 down in the top of the 5th. Throw over to Zatorsky. Ricker gets back.
Ricker kind of take that bouncing back and forth kind of lead, which
He's going. There's the hit.
And that,
Handcuffs Segura a little bit.
yeah. And Segura was running over to cover first on the play. Ball's hit behind him. Had to try to readjust. Probably should make that play, but it made it a lot more difficult running on that play. Coach Agoda's checking out his shortstop. The ball went off his forearm there, it looked like.
Jamison Walsh steps up. Runners on first and second, one down.
Oh, there was actual, yeah, and Javi stepped off. I don't know if we could see that on the camera there, but Ricker literally, we talked about him being the villain, and there's no doubt about it. He just showed it right there. He pushed Segura in the back and knocked him a step or two forward. And, you know, umpire Pantano there's in front of it, and so he couldn't see it. But that is the type of ball player Ricker is.
Walsh leaves that one up high for ball one.
Up and down here, Hop, up and down.
I was saying earlier, this is a young freshman who against us has driven the ball a couple of times this year.
Yeah, I mean, and he does not physically look like a freshman at all. A real solid baseball player, bright future. Him and Hendricks together as freshman and sophomore. It's a nice combo. And Walsh calls timeout here, too, as a freshman. You know, the Jesus getting tied up with Ricker or is taking too long, called a timeout. It's a smart move by the hitter.
He's going. Double steal pulled off.
Yeah, and that's all Ricker there. He timed it out. He was messing around, dancing around, pushing Segura, getting in Javi's head a little bit, and then he does a perfect jump there. And as much as you want to root against him, you got to give him credit for great base running there.
The Jesus falls behind now, 3-0 on Walsh.
And that's a big stop by Messina there. A veteran catcher saved a run without a doubt because Ricker would have been coming and coming hard.
Digs in. There's a first strike for DeJesus on Walsh.
Outfield, gun him down.
Ooh, big swing from Walsh for a strike.
We've seen Javi do this before, fall down 3-0 and come back for a strikeout. See if he can do it again. It'd be a huge second out if he can to stop that tying run at third.
There's the pitch. Got him. Strike
That's a good
three.
spot.
Yes, it was. That was a great job by DeJesus. He got the borderline 3-0 call that pitchers tend to get when a hitter's taking. And he took full advantage of that with two good fastballs in a row.
Chris Neal steps up to the plate.
Get ahead here.
First pitch from DeJesus is low for a ball.
Oh, man. Right out.
Now, what's Neal done so far? Can you see?
Neal's 0 for 1 on the day.
Okay. So what a big
reached
out
on-
this would be.
Yep, 0 for 1. Reached on an error earlier, walked in the second at bat.
Nice pitch for a strike. Ricker again dancing down the third base line, making his presence known.
Let's go here.
Yeah,
That's 2 pitches in really good spots there.
absolutely.
If you're watching the box on TV, that box is going to hit the corner right in the lower inside part of the plate with a little bit of zip on it too.
Without a doubt. And if you're Neal, you got to try to take that pitch to right field. There is a little bit hole. Krasinski actually just moved over a little bit.
Nice block by Messina.
And I think Javi knows that this is a big play because kind of see it in his face there, dig back for a little more.
Oh, without a doubt.
2-2.
And, and you have Kamasu overthrow a little bit when you got Messina back there. 2 big blocks so far with Ricker at third.
To DeJesus and Zatorsky.
Holds the bag.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Zatorsky. Twinkle Toes over there holding his foot. And good job by Javi coming in and playing that big hop, too. If that ball hits the ground with a spin on it, who knows what it would have done. It could have totally changed that play. But what a job, guys. DeJesus getting out of that jam. Second and third, 1 out. No runs scored. So it stays. Dunkirk holds on to their 1-run lead, 6-5 over Southwestern after 4.5. Be back in a minute.
Back to Dunkirk in the bottom of the 5th inning. Donovan Lockett to lead off. The middle of the order for Dunkirk, 5, 6, 7 coming up. It's a spot that, frankly, has done a lot of damage today for the Marauders.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of big hits here, and Dunkirk's going to look to win this inning, right? As a coach, you always tell your team, win every inning. You got to win the game, and this will be a chance putting up a 0 in the top. They can put on another run or 2 here, extend that lead. That hit him.
They got him. Yep. Lockett gets tagged in the foot and will take first base to bring up Nick Marcewitz.
And Marcewitz has had a positive no contact day today. Walked both times he's been up.
And you can tell how much Marcewitz has grown in the last couple of years. Those pants look a little short. Showing a lot of sock there.
Not as much sock as Lockett, though.
Well.
Marcewitz leaves that one up high for ball 1.
Did he start to square on that like he was going to bunt, or just taking? There's a little different hitch there in the beginning, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been feinting to bunt, see what the defense was going to do.
Takes the ball low, 2-0.
Got action in the Marauder bullpen as well.
Marcewitz squares the bunt, pulls it back. Ball 3.
Looks like Coach Jagoda's got 3 players out warming up, actually.
And the 4th and 5th are headed out that way.
Yeah, we've got Bryson Travis throwing with a catcher. Looks like Scotty Korzinski throwing with a catcher, and Tanner Schrantz all throwing with a catcher. And as I say that, we've got action moving over from the Southwestern side into the bullpen, which is located behind us here.
Looks like Walsh again.
Yeah, and listen, even if you're not making a pitching tank, if you're Coach Jagoda, you got to have someone ready. Like you mentioned last inning, DeJesus is getting out there in pitch count.
And 2 of those 3 players he has loosening up are in the game, so you can't really send them out to get loose mid-inning.
Right.
So they kind of have to go out to the field in a position where 8 pitches after the change is enough to get going.
Right, absolutely.
And the same thing on Southwestern. Walsh is in the game.
He's only DHing though, right? That's a
Marshall
good
lays
bunt.
down a bunt.
That's going to be a
Oh,
base
he's
hit.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's safe at first.
Now, the first baseman really made a bid. He
He had
got
a
caught in
chance.
between. Yeah, I mean, Richter made it much closer than I thought he had any chance. And if that first baseman's on the base in a stretch, he might have had him. But he was just standing there watching Ricker, assuming there wasn't going to be a play, and that's a mental error there for Southwestern.
Pinch hitter for Dunkirk. We've got Nathan Pekulski coming to the plate here for Nick Zatorski.
Come on, Moto!
We got Lockett on second. Marcewicz on first. Kulski up to the plate. Takes a first pitch swing
It's going to be a tough play.
Foul and no play, yep.
to the right side of the field.
It's not only a long run, but then at that point you're starting to go up that hill too. It makes it that much harder.
Well, also, I mean, you're going to take the out here. You're surrendering third base on that. Donovan Lockett was tagging. You're not going to make a throw running away from third. Stop, turn around, and throw and get the runner at third.
And this is what I thought you were going to say, Corey. Not to mention, you make that catch with going that far, that fast towards that line.
You take a step and you have a real problem.
Yeah, you're probably taking that ball out of play.
You're surrendering both bases.
Yeah, it's tight. It's they're not used to the field here like maybe a Dunkirk player would be. But yeah, they might have gone right out of play making that catch.
Pekulski fouled that last one back for 2 strikes.
Was definitely high. Good hold by Pekulski.
1 and 2.
And Lockett at second base on a single here has some non-traditional speed. If you look at him run, he doesn't seem like a home to first guy, but once he gets those long legs and long strides moving a second to home or first to third or a double, he's very fast taking 2 bases.
Yeah, well, I mean, his one step is 3 of mine, so it definitely helps with your speed.
Yeah.
1 and 2 to Pekulski. Runners on first and second, no out. Pekulski called out on third strike.
It's a good pitch by Ricker there, right on the outside edge. Catcher framed it nicely.
That brings up Travis. Hit a beautiful triple last time, bases clearing triple.
And as you said that, look where the center fielder just adjusted. Now you got a huge gap in right center, and now left fielder or right fielders moved over some, so there's a lot of real estate to the right half of the outfield here.
Travis showing bunt. Pulls it back. Pitch in high for ball 1.
Corey, your thoughts on that? Because this is one of the things that drives me crazy. Fakes bunt and walks away as the pitch is coming. As an umpire, it opens his own way up to be called a strike.
Well, definitely don't think you want to make the or allow the umpire to guess where your zone is.
Yeah.
Hang in there, pull it back. I think it's also giving away what I think Coach Jagoda's doing there, which is testing their bunt defense.
Absolutely.
If that guy at third base charges as opposed to the first baseman, Lockett's probably going to try to steal behind him and see if that guy can get back to the bag and make a tag in time.
1 and 1 to Travis. Oh, he
The
reaches
hit and run
out,
play
grabs
was-
that one into center field. Lockett's going to come. Marcewicz is stopped at third.
Perfectly executed hit and run play there. And Travis was off balance, like you said, and he still was able to get the barrel of the bat on the ball for a single, similar to Zatorski's hit earlier in the game.
Yes. It definitely was a swing to protect the runners there on the hit and run.
All right, we got Louis Segura up. Number 9 hitter. First pitch way high for ball 1. I think they might want to try to send Marcewicz on one of these pitches.
Travis, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I did the same thing earlier, so they
go to the same hairstyle.
Those
yeah,
ponytails,
the man buns get you every time. Oh, that was a lucky scoop by that first baseman. Did you see his head? He was not looking at that ball whatsoever.
That's a risky throw because it's
got
first and
Marcewicz at third too.
I don't know what play you have on here, but down by 2, I doubt that you're throwing through to second base. So if you're not trying to get him out at second base, I'm not sure that you want to
Oh, there
Here, the
goes
catcher
Travis.
steals and the catcher eats the ball.
Yeah, not even throw to first or
Right.
third or
You're-
pick off or anything.
Your chances of getting him out there are remote, and the ball squeezes by him, and you just surrender to run.
So now we got runners on second and third. 1 ball to Segura. 1 out. Ball in the dirt for ball 2.
Check that.
Good call, Corey.
There's strike 1.
A little.
Now we're at 3 and 1 for
Yep.
Segura.
And is this gonna? You'd almost think this might be Ricker's last batter here. I'm a little
I'm
surprised
Walsh
Walsh.
he's in the dugout. I'm thinking that it might be.
Segura fouls that one off
I've,
in the dirt.
Here's
our game changer feed is by no means the Bible for these sort of things, given that we're talking our way through most of the game as well. But I've got him at 95 pitches, and that's got to be within a couple.
yeah. No, I mean he's throwing a lot of pitches today too.
3 and 2 to Segura with 1 out.
You know,
95 with that one inning that was about 4 pitches too, if we remember right. They had
and I'm gonna point this out, even though I probably shouldn't. Southwestern's coach right now, the same thing with us down in Southwestern. He's yelling as the ball's getting to the pitcher, out of the dugout. It's just classless
There's
for a
fly,
coach
Fly
to
to
do.
center. Catches it.
Left late.
Mercewitz tags.
Oh, man.
Oh, Mercewitz scores. Oh, Travis gets hit in the head on his way to third.
ball. Good backup there, because that's a ball that's destined for out of play.
Yeah. And Travis almost stopped like he didn't know what to do. They hit him in the head. It's not dodgeball. You're not out, Bryson.
So we got Segura flying out to center.
It's a productive out. It's a
Oh,
sack
absolutely.
fly.
Yeah, Marcewicz tags and scores. Travis heads to third. Gets plunked in the head and is at third.
And here's that pitching change we talked about. Walsh is coming to the mound. But go ahead, Corey. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was just going to say, that was a shallow hit ball. Center fielder's coming in on it. Third base runner, Marcia, actually, he's got great speed, but he got a really
very
late
late
jump. And the throw wasn't even like he was even trying to go home. It was a low to a deep cutoff that was way too close to second base.
We have headphones on here, so hearing what's happening outside is a little different. But I think I heard Coach Jagoda hold him, and I'm wondering if he didn't send him, seeing the ball was going to second base, seeing that the throw wasn't, that they were not set up to cut to home, and the ball was going into second base. At which point in time, even with the late jump, he had confidence that it wasn't going to go from center field to a shortstop by second base to home in time to get
with Marcewicz running.
I think he was held and fainting until he saw where the ball was going.
That could be, because it was definitely a late start, and that makes sense. You got veteran coach out there running third base.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, that play on a play to home is going to about the pitcher's mound where the first baseman would be coming in for the cutoff.
Yeah.
Not to the. I mean, the reason that they scored it, Bryson advanced into third on an error. The reason that there was an error is that ball went into second base,
right.
And the throw from second to third, where Travis was hung up, was the one that went out of play.
Yeah, that if you're a young first baseman, you really should be on the catcher's side, home plate side of first base on that one with your arms up, cut off. That way, if he doesn't go, you can cut it off. If it's like right at your overhead, it's one hop into home plate. Or right in the air to home plate, and you might stop all runners from advancing. And instead, you got a run scored, and the guy in second made it to third.
So we got freshman Jamison Walsh on the mound now, and gets his first batter, the leadoff hitter, Alex Ahlstrom. 2 down. Travis on third. First pitch. Outside, ball 1.
Be interested to see his approach here. We talked in the Dunkerk game how for the younger hitters, this is the first time you're seeing pitchers who are willing to throw off-speed pitch in pitchers' counts.
Walsh's delivery In for a strike.
Now you've got the opposite here. You've got a
Oh, ball's by.
Ball got by Walsh there for a second. Travis had a thought.
Wasn't quite far enough. Just hit enough of Walsh's glove, but there's no backup whatsoever by the second baseman that throw either.
A 1-1 in the dirt for ball 2.
And that's a nice stop there by Southwestern's catcher. Help me out here, guys.
It'd be Lucas Gilbert.
Gilbert, thank you. That saved a run. We talked about Messina saving a run earlier, and Gilbert just did the same thing.
Hallstrom's got a 2-1 count.
fastball by him.
Was that an off-speed pitch of some sort? It looked a little. So it looked like it might even have a little movement on it.
2-2 to Alex.
The ball's driven deep to left field. That's fair. It's probably going to be a home run. And
Made the
it is fair
sliding catch in the warning track for the out. Great play there by Marshall. But that win, he must have been playing also
on the track.
Deep. Yeah, I mean, he did cover. He got a good break on it, and I stood up, and I was able just to see him slide and catch the ball in the warning track. Big catch, saved a run, but not before Dunkirk could add to their lead, scoring 2. Another big hit by Travis to score a run on a hit-and-run play. Dunkirk up 8-5 over Southwestern going into the top of the 6th.
Back in Al Stillmiller Field, top of the 6th inning, Dunkirk 8, Southwestern 5. Got 8 and 9 in the top of the order up for Southwestern.
And DeJesus is still on the mound here.
Catcher Aiden Melquist takes a high ball 1.
And Corey, you could attest to this more than I, but I mean, it seems like Coach Ago has not been afraid to throw DeJesus and Zatorsky deep into their pitch count.
Hit the short, Segura grabs it and sends it to Zatorsky for out number 1.
You know, after a rough start to the game, Lou has really settled in and had himself a nice game at shortstop. He's made 3 or 4 plays, he's taken his time on them, collected himself. Sometimes young athletes, when you have an error early on in the game, you let it spiral and 1 error turns into 5 errors, and then you've had a day.
Oh, absolutely.
9th batter, Lucas Gilbert, steps up, pops one back foul for strike 1.
This is a huge out for Javi. You can flip around to the top of the order if you get this one, leaving nobody on for Johnston. And
right, and that probably, in all intents and purposes, ideally be the last time you'd face Johnson. Any Dunkirk pitcher would face Johnson all game.
Right. Definitely would be the last time for Javi.
Yeah.
Gilbert hits it foul down the left field line for strike 2.
Get a spot here.
You know, and this is, in my opinion, so far watching Gilbert, it's one of those classic situations. A number 9 hitter is not really the number 9 hitter. He's had some good swings all game and good at bats. Took strike 3 there, though.
Coach Segura tells him to find a spot, and that's exactly what he does for strike 3. Leadoff hitter Nate Johnson steps up.
The Southwestern team, I mean, Johnson, senior leader, Ricker, senior, a couple of their better players, but they're littered with sophomores, juniors, and freshmen up and down the lineup. This is a team that's going to be competitive for quite some time.
Absolutely. And Kennedy's only a junior, so he'll be the leader next year. You know, and Kennedy will be 1. Walsh will probably be 2 in the pitching staff, and their lineup's still going to be pretty solid.
Yeah, Gilbert just a sophomore, Hendricks just a sophomore, Walsh a freshman.
The 0-1 to Johnson. Takes it inside for ball 1, 1-1.
Good miss there by the Jesus.
Come on, babe. Let him go.
1-1
Ball's
hit
well
hard in the
struck.
gap.
That's going to be a double
Left
at a
center.
bare minimum. It's that same spot that they.
He's going to push it for 3, and it looks like he's going to get in there, no
Oh.
problem.
Segura bobbles the.
And if he was, you know, you almost could have sent him there,
definitely
especially with
could
2 outs.
Segura bobbled the cutoff. And Johnson stops at 3. No harm, no foul if they can get Marshall out here.
Right, and well, that was the key, as Corey said earlier, to get those first 2 outs there. No one on. Johnson hits a 3-out or 2-out triple. No harm if you get the next guy. So one of those 89 hitter gets on, it's 1 or 2 runs. That's a big difference.
First pitch to Marshall is outside for ball 1.
And no excuse Southwestern, but what a difference not having Kennedy hitting right here in this spot. He is a tough out.
Kennedy fouls it, or I'm sorry, Marshall fouls it back for a strike.
What's up, Scotty? Nick?
Yeah, Marshall's having a good season, hitting about 360 coming into the game, but looking at the season statistics before, Kennedy hitting almost 100 points higher, who would be up here right now.
And I've personally seen him have multiple clutch hits, too. And, I mean, he's a quarterback. And he's a gamer. He's a leader. He makes things happen. Nate Johnson's way down the line here. He would have been stealing home if he had gone into his windup from the – if he had stepped back into the windup there. Good job by Javi not balking at that point even.
Messina and DeJesus have a little chat. Messina heads back to the plate. 2-1 to Marshall.
And good job by the senior catcher here, going out on his own, talking to his pitcher. Makes Jagoda's job a lot easier when you have a leader like that behind the plate.
2-1 is high for ball 3.
And if you notice how he switched to the stretch now, not the windup after that.
Johnson's getting a healthy lead at 3rd.
He's not going anywhere from the stretch.
Marshall fouls it back for a full count. 2 outs.
That might have been ball 4, Corey.
It was definitely on the upper edge, that's for certain. Good hitter, though. You want to leave that in the umpire's hands?
Absolutely.
Go get it.
Well, yeah, it would have been 3-1, though. It was a 3-1 count at the time.
Oh,
Yes, he did.
Full count. Gets him swinging.
Might have swung at 2 back-to-back balls, but nonetheless, it's another big K and get himself out of a jam. Javi DeJesus having a game on the mound. Dunkirk leads 8-5 going into the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back.
Back for the bottom of the 6th in Dunkirk. Mike Norton leading it off, so 2, 3, 4 in the order. Dunkirk looks to give their pitching staff a little bit of cushion in the 7th inning, especially the way this season series has gone so far.
Yeah, you don't want to leave any room for error. You've seen a couple times in especially that 11-inning game, it looked like the game might be over. The other team came back and scored 2 or 3 runs.
Yep.
So you want to put the throttle down here at the heart of the lineup, 2, 3, 4 coming up. Good chance to put some runs on the board.
Yeah, Norton's had a quiet day at the plate today, too, so he's due for one. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1.
Yeah, late in the game, tight ball game, Coach Brown is going to see a little bit about what his young freshman can offer him for the rest of the season. And that right there is a good pitch. If it's a bunch of those, he's going to be just fine this inning.
Yeah, absolutely. Low at the knees.
1-1 to Norton. Hits one down the line.
Fair ball. That's going to be a double.
Turning, heading to second. Nobody covering third.
Good heads-up play there by 14. Noticing there's no play at second. Sprinted over to third.
That's the second baseman, I think, coming all the way over there.
Too, but you got you know what it is, the shift. The third baseman was playing in right field.
Yep.
And Norton beat the shift there, driving one opposite field.
Definitely.
Big leadoff double.
It didn't matter on that particular play because it was at the outfield. We actually.
But the outfielders are playing on the pull too. You know
that's the weird part of that shift. If you look at his spray, Michael is definitely a pull hitter on ground balls, but he's more straight up on balls hit to the outfield than you'd think.
Yeah. Well, opposite field.
Most hitters are.
Yeah.
Most hitters are.
But he's hit one out opposite field. One of the 3, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Messina spanks one up the middle. Center field. Norton's going to score.
Score easily.
And Messina's going to stop at first with a single. RBI.
Right there is classic Phil Messina hitting.
Yep.
Don't try to do too much. Stay behind the baseball. Put the ball in the barrel and drive it up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I know he had another, I think his last at bat, he had a line drive up the middle as well. I know he had another line drive up the middle for a hit, but I think it's back-to-back hits for him right up the middle. RBI single looking to steal second here, I would imagine, to get himself into scoring position. Dunkirk up by 4 now, 9-5, bottom of 6.
Jesus
that's a heck of a play.
Back to the pitcher, over to second.
You know, and I'll tell you, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Player's out at second, but Jesus makes it to first.
There was 2 really good plays. First by the pitcher. And they made a bad throw to second. Nate Johnson did a great job. His throw's a little high, but you can tell that the first baseman today for
it's actually Ricker over there now after the pitching change.
Is that Ricker
yeah.
now? Okay. Because he's played a lot of first. But earlier you saw the first baseman. He did not look good trying to stay on that bag to make that catch there. That's why I was bringing that up. But early you've seen some shaky first base play or inexperienced first base play with Ricker on the mound.
Tanner Schrontz, I think, is
running
in for Jesus at first as a runner with Lockett up to the plate, and swings at the first pitch for a strike.
Pretty good size lead over there first as well.
Schrontz is taking off. With a throw.
No one even on the bag covering.
It's a called strike on the pitch, I believe we had. And then Tanner will steal the base.
So Lockett's got an 0-2 count. Schrontz moves over to second with 1 out. Lockett drives it down left field. That's
all the way to the fence, yo.
Schrontz is going to score. Lockett's got an easy stand-up double.
And that was a hanging curveball there on an 0-2 count, and Lockett made him pay for another RBI double for Lockett.
That brings up Nick Marcewicz.
And Dunkirk's doing exactly what they wanted to do this inning. They wanted to put this game away before we hit that 7th inning. And, you know, it's fine. You know, it's not over, but they're definitely making it a lot harder for the Southwestern bats right now.
Outside and low for 1 to Marcewicz. For a ball, I mean.
That looked like it was a borderline balk there. Corey barely stopped on that.
Yeah, I thought the pitch that Tanner stole on hit a little shoulder shake as well.
Second pitch high, 2-0.
And what you pointed out about what Coach Brown was going to find out about his freshman, he's looking a little frustrated, a little shaken right now, overthrowing the last couple of pitches for balls.
There's a strike to Marcewicz.
Answers back with a nice pitch on the lower edge of the zone.
2-1 to Marcewicz with 1 out.
Good hold there by Marcewicz.
That was some sort of off-speed pitch there. Real nice pitch.
What a ball. So 3-1 to Marcewicz. Ball 4 to Marcewicz. And Lockett thought about taking third, but steps back.
And you wonder how much the catcher dropping that ball affected that call or not. It's hard to tell inside or outside, but he didn't miss by much there, and then handcuffed his catcher a little bit and couldn't frame it for him. Didn't get the call.
Brings up Zatorsky. Back in the game. Takes the first pitch outside low, or outside high for ball 1. High and outside, ball 2. That's outside, 3-0. 3-0 to Zatorsky. Lockett on second. Marcewicz on first. 1 out. Bottom of 6. There's a strike to Zatorsky.
Just a little inconsistent. You know, the youth showing, just inexperience showing a little bit. But we've seen a couple real nice low fastballs for strikes this inning from Walsh, and then we've seen him hang a few and get a little wild too. Bright future. And
there's 2.
And you hear the Dunkirk bench kind of yelling out a little bit what we were talking about earlier. Not sure if he came to a complete stop once again.
Full count to Zatorsky. The runners are going. Ball 4.
Good discipline there by Zatorsky, laying off that pitch. It was low and in. It would have been a tough pitch to hit, and it was just off the zone for ball 4.
Catcher Gilbert heads out to the mound to have a chat with Walsh as Bryson Travis steps up.
And Travis, he's got at least 4 RBIs today. A triple, he had a single for an RBI his last at bat. Had bases loaded triple. Really chance to have a day right now with a base hit here.
Yeah, he's 2 for 3 on the day with a single and a triple. He's driven in 4. Really, this bottom 2/3 of the order, so it's kind of been the catalyst this afternoon.
Yeah, and you pointed that out time and time again, and you've been absolutely right. Lockett a huge lead at third, and he draws the balk. Again, that freshman pitcher taking advantage of that. Good job by Jagoda and lock it out there, getting in his head a little bit.
Yep, I think they definitely made that one happen. Some of the players and the broadcast team here were calling balk a few times, and they finally call it.
Yeah, that one was an obvious one. He started, stopped. There's not a lot to...
I would do the same with Marcewicz.
Yeah, now you're getting to the point where you're getting to be a couple of hits away from wondering if you're going to get a chance to bat in the last inning for Southwestern.
Yeah, about 4 more runs.
Yeah.
Only 1 out. And
1 out, you're about to flip the lineup over again. Get 2 men on.
The 0-1 to Travis. Oh. 0-2 to Travis.
that might have been a suicide
I think
squeeze
that was
called.
a squeeze play missed by the runner on third that was turned out to be fortunate for Dunkirk
Yes,
since he
exactly.
bunted through the pitch.
Oh, swings at a high one for strike 3.
It's always tough as a hitter when you don't get the bunt down and then you have 2 strikes at you. Now you got to try to hit and chase the high one there. But good job by Walsh. After the balk, he threw a great fastball. Took another one on the missed bunt and then struck him out on a high fastball. So,
Yeah, we've got Jack Lansky going to pinch hit here for Luis Segura. Jack's had a couple of big hits in the last couple of games. Roped a ball in Gowanda the other day.
to this day, Jack Lansky hit the farthest ball I've ever seen hit at Fredonia Little League in All-Stars his last year. I think that ball's still going.
First pitch, high for ball 1.
And the best part about it was the big smile he had on his face going around. 'Cause he's a real good kid and works hard.
The 1-0. Fouled back, 1-1.
Yeah, Jack had a double in Gowanda. Big, tall, right-handed hitter, throws left-handed. It's another one of the kids who, we spoke about this a lot, you know, probably was poised for a big year this year, except for missing the COVID season. Left-handed pitcher as well, just, you know, take a whole year of development out of the...
The 1-1 slapped to second, fielded cleanly, and out at first.
And Dunkirk did what they set out to do. They put on, I believe, 3 runs. Is that correct? It was 5-8 going into the
3
inning.
runs
Added
on 3 hits.
3 runs to making a 6-run lead. Dunkirk takes the lead going into the top of the 7th, 11-5, looking to sweep the Trojans after this short break.
Back here for the top of the 7th at L. Stu Miller Field, we got a score of Dunkirk 11, Southwestern 5. Javi DeJesus coming out to at least begin the 7th inning. He's going to face 3, 4, 5 in the order.
Dustin Hendricks takes the first pitch to right field. Lockett gets underneath it and hauls it in. Out number 1.
I'll tell you what, that ball carried a lot farther than I thought he did. I thought that was going to be one of those bloop singles or Lockett would have to come in hard, and I look at it, he not coming in, and then it just kept going. Yeah, 1 pitch, 1 out. I mean, when you're at a high pitch count, number 3 hitter, 6-run lead, you can't ask for anything more.
That's exactly what you're looking for.
Yes, sir. I wonder what Jagoda is talking about. Pitch count here or how approach to Ricker?
I think it's got to be pitch count and along the lines of
Go get him.
You've got X left, don't waste them.
Right.
And a 6-run pad.
Yeah, and that's just it. You can take a chance. I mean, heck, who cares if Ricker hits one in the tennis courts right now?
Right.
You know, make them beat you and be aggressive, go right after them.
First pitch to Ricker, in for a strike. Second pitch in, taken for a strike.
Well, Jesus is really making Jagoda look like a genius. Go out there, throw strikes, and that's exactly what he's doing.
The 0-2, foul back. The 0-2 from DeJesus.
Oh, that's going to be one that's going to be
Segura goes back, makes a nice grab.
A little tied up on himself, but
yeah, good pitch and a better play by Segura for the second out of the inning. And no matter what, now he'll have a chance to finish the batter wherever his pitch count is. He's close to that 125 max.
I've got him at 124.
So either if, you know, Javi's probably got one chance here to get the last batter and get the complete game win.
And there's a hit up the middle. Segura knocks it down.
Yeah, nice play by Segura, but no chance whatsoever. And Jagoda wasn't quite sure if that was 125 or not. And what's the official pitch count here? Does he have another shot with a 1-pitch hit? So let's see, 1 pitch to Hendricks, 3 pitches to Ricker, and now 1 to Kane for a hit. So real efficient inning so far, even after giving up a hit.
They must have a pitch in. And when we compared mine to the official count a couple innings back, they had 2 less than I did.
Right, and right now that makes a big difference.
Strike 1 to Walsh. 0-1 to Walsh. 1-1.
Nice job by Messina hopping on that fastball way outside, keeping it in front.
There's a hit right to DeJesus.
That's a fitting way to end the game.
For the game.
And that'll do it, right? Dunkirk is going to finish off the sweep of the Trojans. This game not in extra innings, which is quite the story in itself. Yeah, but a big win for the Marauders. And I don't know if that clinches the division yet, but they got to be real close, Corey, in that, and really having a great season so far. Guys, some final thoughts here before we go.
Yeah, I mean, division-wise, it'll be Dunkirk or Olean. I think Dunkirk's only lost this season to Olean. Olean has 2, so it'll come down to that. Just a little summary on the day here, what we had as far as for Dunkirk. Have, there's a lot of production actually from that middle third of the order.
Absolutely was.
Phil Messina with a couple of hits, Javi DeJesus with a couple of hits, and then you go down a little farther and you got Donovan Lockett with a couple of doubles. Nick Marzowitz was on base every time he was up, hits or walks. And Nick Zatorsky with a couple of hits today. So yeah, it was a good day towards the bottom. Bryson Travis with a couple of hits, the hit and run.
Big triple.
Not to mention the
Not
three-run
to mention
triple.
the three-run triple, yeah. And as far as how to set yourself up for the week now, we've got Dunkirk able to get the win. Only use one pitcher. They'll come start. They're off Monday, and they have a non-league game, and then Wednesday's a big game with Olean, and then Friday against Fredonia. So Coach Jagoda only using one today will really be able to set his week up however he wants it next week to have his pitching fall.
Right, whoever he wants to throw against Olean and Fredonia, he gets his pick.
He gets his pick, and then really where we're at the point now is it's kind of whoever you want to throw against Olean will then be kind of your de facto starter because the following Monday would start the sectional playoffs. Right. And Dunkirk, if they win out, probably is in line to host a home game here at L. Stu Miller Field on that Monday. Maybe even if they don't win out, if they split those one of two, they probably have a good chance to host a home game here. So it's been a long time since that's happened here. They've been on the road the last 3 or 4 years I've been around the team, and I know a few before then. So it's been a good day for Dunkirk baseball, and really kind of a gritty performance by Southwestern. Outgunned. Come in without their two-hitter. Probably a guy that you would have. I imagine that if you, other than the rain thing, they would have liked him Kennedy to be able to throw against Olean and have Johnson for this game. So they kind of had to piecemeal everything together. Up early and hung around into the game. So I think it's a gritty performance by them.
Sure, and they're gamers. They've won a lot of games in football. They've won a lot of games in basketball the last few years, and they're starting to win a lot of games in baseball too, and that comes from their leadership. And I would also like a gritty performance by DeJesus himself.
Yes.
He threw 30. You say 30?
Over 30
31.
pitches in the first inning.
And so when you have a pitch count, you throw that many. Yes, there was 4 errors behind him. Gave up 3, 4, 5 runs in the first inning.
4-0 at the end of 3 outs.
Okay, so and then you give up 1 run the rest of the game and able to throw a complete game. That, to me, and I've coached Javi, my sons have played with Javi, and I've watched Javi play a lot. The maturation, I've talked about it a lot, of Javi DeJesus, it's real right now. And we saw a little frustration. We talked about it early, but he was able to regroup and settle back down. You didn't see him kicking dirt or losing complete composure, and did a real nice job. So
that's 1 inning on 30 pitches and then 6 complete on 90.
Right, giving up 1 run. I'm not sure if that 1 run was earned.
He had 1 earned run. It was a triple, and then he scored on the leadoff triple.
Right, that's right.
So that's a legit run. And then the ones in the first, to his credit, he didn't let himself get down. Just kept making pitches, and to Dunkirk's credit, like sometimes that stuff snowballs when you have a rough inning defensively, and really they tightened the ship up starting in the second inning and made some plays because Southwestern.
Well, they came out and scored a lot of 3 runs in the bottom of the first, and that's huge for your pitcher too. So
yes.
that's no small achievement. Yeah, we're down 4-0. Who cares? We can score runs. You said took a touchdown to win the first 2 games. Well, it only close to it today. They scored 11, but Southwestern put up 5.
Yeah, and really, Javi had a decent day pitching, 6 Ks, but not a hugely dominant strikeout performance. So they put the ball in play, and after the first inning, Dunkirk picked the ball up through the first base, made the plays that they were supposed to.
He only walked a couple too, I believe, right?
3 walks on the day, so he really made them earn their bases. And, really, it was a pretty clean game all the way around. I don't believe that there were only 4 total walks for Southwestern, 2 for Ricker and 2 for Walsh. And Dunkirk really made them make the plays. They struck out 3 total times in the game. They put the bat on the ball and made them make the plays. When this Dunkirk team fields the baseball, they're going to be a tough out here.
Absolutely.
As the season goes on. It's when they they're going to run into good competition in the playoffs, and if you give some of those teams 4 and 5 outs in an inning, they're not going to put up 4. They might put up 8 on you there. So that's something to keep an eye on. But really,
and they're going to score more after the first inning, too.
Correct. A good team, a good team in the playoffs in a semi or final game, it would be unreasonable to expect to only give up 1 run over 6 innings to bring it home. So
absolutely. Yeah, and Dunkirk's offense really, it is exactly as Denny Green would say, it is what we thought it was, or know it was, right?
Yeah.
And it has been lately. They had the one hiccup against Olean, but that was snake bitten that whole game from my understanding. So great season so far for the Marauders. Gentlemen, great job. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me join you last minute since I couldn't make the trip to Olean. And I want to give credit to Dylan Murphy and Gabe Taylor, volunteering their time and helping out and doing a great job as always. So, guys, anything else? We good?
I think we're good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for letting me join you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for doing it, and have a great night, and thanks for tuning in.